How can you maintain your enthusiasm for editing? That's the topic I'm addressing today in The Right Question. I'm Daphne Gray Grant, the publication coach. I have a question from Wanda Dion, a writer based in the Woodlands, Texas. Here's what she's asked by email. I asked a friend who is a published author to critique my manuscript. He made a number of valid suggestions that will require rewriting. So I'm rewriting and editing at the same time, but I'm finding it hard to do. It's like the bloom has left the rose, if you know what I mean. What can you suggest? Thanks for the question, Wanda. It sounds to me like you're suffering from what some writers call the murky middle. I know you've already finished your first draft, so how could I possibly think you're in the middle? But be aware that the murky middle doesn't just occur at the 50% point. Instead, it takes place when you feel unspeakably tired, overwhelmed, fed up, desperate to do something else. In fact, many of the symptoms are similar to burnout. In the show notes below, I provide a link to a post I've done on that topic. You'll notice that many of my suggestions relate to life rather than writing, but adopting them will help you finish your book. With respect to editing and rewriting, I have one other specific suggestion for you. Remember that these are two very different jobs and they require you to use different parts of your brain. When you're editing, you want to use the linear logical brain, the part that judges and evaluates. But when you're writing or rewriting, you want to use the creative part. It's extremely difficult to switch between these different parts of the brain, and in Western society, it's quite common for us to get stuck in the linear logical part. Don't let this happen to you. It will just make the job of rewriting a lot harder. The best way to prevent getting stuck is to write or rewrite first thing in the day, because our creative brains tend to be more active then. I'm not suggesting that you need to get up at 5 a.m. or anything. Just do your rewriting shortly after waking up, whatever time that might be. Later in the day, you can turn your attention to editing. And as you do that, remind yourself it's pointless to read your draft again and again with the vague intention of making it better. Instead, follow a system. I use what I call the multiple pass system. I go through a segment of text, in my case a chapter, and I look for just one problem at a time. For example, I might check my sentence length. Are they all short enough? Then I'll go through the same segment of text again, looking for a different problem, perhaps how I've used pronouns. Following such a system will help you be much more specific and effective. Even though it might feel as though it's taking longer, it won't, and you'll be much more successful. Finally, let me wrap up with the bracing words of the late American writer Maya Angelou. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Wanda, understand that finishing a book isn't a 100-yard dash. Instead, it's a marathon, and you need to pace yourself so you can complete it. Take a break if you need to, but otherwise keep chipping away at the project slowly and surely. You will be able to finish it. If you'd like to learn more about how to make your writing a happier, more rewarding process, check out my latest book, Your Happy First Draft. It's not available in bookstores or on Amazon. The only place you can get it is my website. Link below and in the show notes.